Did you know that you can build your first customizable agent in Microsoft Copilot Studio without writing a single line of code or having any technical background? As an AI engineer, I've built dozens of custom Copilot agents for my employer. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to build your first Copilot agent without any coding or technical knowledge. I'm going to teach you how to customize your Copilot agent. And lastly, I'm going to show you how to use your Copilot agent and what you can use it for. So the best way to get Copilot Studio is through your organization. However, if your organization doesn't have Copilot, then the best way is to sign up for a free trial. So here I am. Company is going to be Joe and Co. English, accept the terms and conditions. So here I'm going to click on New Agent, and here we are in the Agent Builder. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell the Agent Builder, type in here, exactly what I want to create. So for this example, I created a dummy employee handbook PDF that we're going to use to upload. So I'm going to download that first. So then I uploaded that file after downloading it to this agent so that it has that context to know what to build. And then I'm going to briefly describe what I want. So I'm going to say, build a simple chat bot. So this is a very simple agent, but it basically would allow employees to ask questions about the handbook document rather than reading through it themselves. And so here we have it. It created the first version just based off of our prompt here. So what it does in the background is it just decides from our prompt right here what we wanted to build, and then it creates kind of a prompt here. This is a system prompt for the agent, and then just connects the documents that you uploaded. So for example, this document that I uploaded, our example document, is what it's going to use. So now our agent was created in like 2 seconds, and we can preview it right. So I'm going to click one of the pre-made prompts, ask about time off. How do I request paid time off? And it's going to go through and process that document, pull the correct information from that, and give us an answer. Okay, so there it goes. It pulled the correct information, section 4.3, paid time off. Yeah, submit your request to the HR system, So obviously, my example document is just going to have generic advice in there. And so the information that it pulls is going to be generic. But what's cool is that it cites its sources, so you can click on that and view the document that you uploaded. Now, if we only have one document, this is not that helpful. But if you have an employee agent that has 10 documents, for example, it could be really helpful to click on that link and read through the document. So anyway, yeah, there we go. Now we have our custom agent. Now that we've built our agent, it's time to get into how to customize it. And that's where we go to this configure spot right here. So the first way that you can customize your agent is by editing the system prompt. And so prompt engineering is a whole field. It's really not that hard to get into, especially if you're just building a simple agent. You can usually just put in the prompt exactly what you want. So what I can do here is important instruction. So see what I put at the end here? I just put important instruction, always output. I don't have that information if the information is not in the document. That can be really important because sometimes AI will hallucinate and it'll give you a confident answer, even if it doesn't have the information required to provide the right answer. And so it'll give you an answer that's confidently wrong. So that is a really important thing to do. All right, so we're going to go back to preview. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in a new message where I go, how much am I getting paid? If our prompt functions correctly, it's going to say, I don't have that information. And there it goes. I don't have that information. The employee handbook includes general payroll policies, et cetera, et cetera. So our instruction here in the system prompt actually did work. So that's just one way you can customize your agent. You can do other things here too. You can tell it what type of language to use. If you want it to be more formal and direct, you can tell it that. You can tell it to be more friendly. There are all sorts of things that you can do with the system prompt. So that's definitely something worth playing around with. And the best part is it's all in natural language, so you don't have to write any code for that to customize your agent. So the second way you can customize your agent is by providing it some knowledge. So Copilot agents can connect with SharePoint, it can connect with your Teams chat, and it can connect with your Outlook. It can also take files that you upload, which is what we did right here. So when it comes to an agent, you really want to make sure that you're giving it all the information it needs to answer the question. For example, for employee compensation, that's not in the handbook right here. So if an employee is going to ask something like how much are raises this year or something like that, they would need comp information in there. Now, this agent is just an example, so I'm not going to do that. But if you wanted that information in there, you have to make sure that the agent has access to it, because otherwise what you could have happen is the agent could hallucinate, especially if you don't give it instructions like this one at the bottom that we gave. All right, so the other thing you can do is you can have it create documents, charts, and code, and images. That's usually not as helpful for an agent like the one we just created. But for example, if you gave your agent a bunch of information and wanted it to create an Excel spreadsheet, you could do that. Or if you wanted it to make a PowerPoint slide based on a whole bunch of information that you give it, it could do that. And then finally, what we have here is suggested prompts. So these were created by Copilot here, just from our prompt, but we can also add one. So let's say we want to add something about, so we're creating one here that's ask about benefits, and here's the message that the agent would get sent. So you want to make sure that the message matches the title, because otherwise people are going to click on a title and then the agent is going to get sent a different message. So there we go. And then that's that. And you can see it's auto saving right here. So those are all the ways you can customize your agent. Now, let's say that you've customized your agent with all the knowledge sources and the custom prompts, and you've edited the system prompt and you've tried it out in preview and it's working great. Well, then the next step is to create your agent by clicking this create button. And now we can see our agent has been created. So we're going to go to the agent and we're going to try it out. Remote work policies. Let's go. So as you can see, it answered the question about remote work, and it cited its sources, section 6.1, remote and hybrid work. What we can do now is we can fact check this agent and go to section 6.1, remote hybrid travel policies. So this is kind of hard to see, but you can see that it talks about remote work and travel policies and how manager approval is obtained before you can work remotely. And we can see that it said basically that same thing here. So we did it. Now you know exactly how to make a custom agent in Copilot. It's really super simple and really easy to customize. They made it very friendly for beginners. So this video would not be complete if I didn't cover what you can and cannot build with Copilot agents, the pros and cons, and the different functionalities and limitations of Copilot agents. Let's start out with what you can build in Copilot Studio. You can build an agent that can allow you to ask questions about a document or set of documents. That's what we just did in the video. You can also build an agent that asks questions about your inbox. And that way you don't have to sort through your inbox, for example. You can also get it to ask questions about your Teams chat and any document in SharePoint. Basically, any agent that you want ask questions about anything in your Microsoft suite. So that includes Outlook, Calendar, that includes SharePoint, and that includes any documents that you upload to your agent in particular. So Copilot agents are very good for that sort of thing. But what can't you use Copilot agents for? That's just as important a question. Here are a few things that you can't use Copilot agents for. So you can't use them for querying large document sets or databases. That's a big one. So in our example, I used a document that was 9 pages long. And I could probably upload a few of those documents into a Copilot agent. But if I uploaded 500 to 1,000 pages of data into that agent, it wouldn't perform so well. The reason for that is because the agents use vector similarity semantic search to bring information from the documents into the chat. You don't need to know what that is. Just know that that technique tends to break down when you give it a lot of information. So for querying large sets of documents or for large databases or data lakes, Copilot agents just don't cut it. Another thing that you can't do with Copilot agents is creating fully autonomous or long-running agents. So my employer asked me, could you create a Copilot agent that's a headhunter agent that can take a job description and look for people on LinkedIn and reach out to good candidates and all that stuff? And I said, well, no, I can't do that in Copilot because there are a few things going on there, right? You have to connect LinkedIn to your agent. You have to have an agent that is intelligent and can scrape data from LinkedIn. You have to have an agent that can also reach out, and you need like an API for that. There's a lot more involved than just having an agent that can query a document. So for fully autonomous agents like that, or agents that you want running in the background, Copilot is not the best tool for that. And lastly, another thing that you don't want to use Copilot agents for is for a personal assistant. Now, personal assistant agents are some of the hardest agents to create just because the amount of security and being able to go over large data sets is very demanding for personal assistants. People want their personal assistants to be able to just like do everything for them and know everything about them and also not get hacked. And that's a really tall order, actually. So personal assistants are a whole nother topic that I could get into in a different video, but just know that Copilot agents are not the right tool for that. So now you have everything you need to be able to build your own custom Copilot agent in Microsoft Copilot Studio. We covered how to build the agent, covered how to customize the agent and the different levers you can pull there. Then finally, we covered what you can build in Copilot Studio versus what is better for a different tool. Lastly, we covered what Copilot Studio is good for versus what is better suited for a different tool or custom code. So I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you're interested in diving a little bit deeper into more of the multi-agent system and like coding, more technical side of things, and you're kind of willing to get your hands dirty a little bit, I have other videos where I go more in depth on how to use advanced techniques to orchestrate swarms of agents. And if you're interested in that, check out some of my other videos on the channel. See you soon.